Welcome to our interview, Gloria.
Thank you for having me, Christian.
We would love for our viewers to know more about you because they know your brand, but they don't know you personally. So tell us a little bit about who is Gloria, who is the person behind Flove.
Thank you for having me, Christian. So, Gloria is a 24 years old Rwandan woman. I'm a fresh graduate from my bachelor's degree. I did international business and trade for my bachelor's. I am a person or like a people person. I enjoy art. I enjoy traveling. Yeah, I just love people, culture, art, and everything around that. Yeah.
You are the creative director and the founder of Flove. So, how did the journey of creating Flove? Did you love fashion? How did everything start for you? So, take us through the journey of being an entrepreneur, being the brains behind the tote bags we see in the streets. So, tell us, how did the passion of designing and creating stuff start for you?
I think my passion for fashion started early on when I was in primary school. I was always sketching. It used to be clothes back then. I was always sketching. Got scolded a couple of times because instead of like following, I was always in my book doing some things. But later on, I just continued with like school and all, and lost that touch of like drawing. I think I didn't have time, or like I lost interest in between until in college. I wanted a bag to carry to school. This time I was carrying a lot of things, my laptop, lunchbox. Yes, yes, a lunchbox. I usually carry, like people who know me, they say I carry all my life in my bag. I always have a stuffed bag for some reason. So I was looking for a bag, and I remember going around the markets in Kigali, and everything I saw was either from China, and it didn't have like my taste in it. It was I thought this bag is not really made for me, and that's when I decided to design my own bag. So I went back home and I was like, actually, what do I think I need my bag to look like? So I sketched something. I remember I was now learning about Photoshop and everything, and designed like a simple graphic printed. So I decided to go and look for a tailor, got my own fabric, and then later on printed the design on like two bags back then. And when I reached school, everyone was like, Gloria, you gotta have, like, we gotta have these bags. Like, where do you get them? So I was helping my colleagues to get them. I wasn't selling them really. And then the pandemic hit. So in the pandemic, people use now to like actually, okay, ask me, are you selling these bags? They told me you sell these bags. Can you help me find one? How much is it? So I was like, this is actually a business opportunity. I might as well venture into it. So after like making a couple of bags, I was like, okay, let me start posting about this. And from there, it just boosted. I started my first, let's say I started with my first collection, like 10 bags of them, did the whole photo shoot, and established social media platforms. And there was really a demand, because I feel like the typical bags we had are like backpacks, or if you see like a leather bag, it's just like something that is really out of your means. It's made for the bazungus mostly, people who come in here, or like yeah, the kitenge type. And I was like, "Oh, I need something that really speaks to me, like a young person who needs to look good." So that has been my journey, yeah, starting flow.
What makes your brand different is the way, the production side of it. You work with. I want you to tell the story for yourself because it's so inspiring. Because I've heard you talk about it before in an event. How the way you help the society, the way you of course, you are a businesswoman, you're working, you're producing, you're selling tote bags are successfully, but the way they are made, there's a story behind it. So tell us the background story that, that is, for me, I think is so inspiring and so huge coming from a person like you, really giving back to the society. Tell us, why was that important for you and why the story?
We are a social enterprise, and besides just producing bags, which most people know, we also help teenage mothers by employing them and giving them the economic empowerment to get back them in the society. Because with our culture, most of them are abandoned by their families, or if you're a teenager, then maybe a guy just left you with a kid, and maybe you're a school dropout, you don't have the means to take care of the kids. So my passion with working with women goes way back in my personal story as well. I come from a household of both parents and three siblings, but I've lived most of my life with all the siblings who are not really my relatives, or like distant relatives who were affected by the genocide. So I've seen how I grew up with a lot of women. That's the first thing, and like I think that's where I get the passion of like being around women and learning about them and having conversations with them. But later on in life, because of certain circumstances, trauma, and whatnot, their lives didn't really turn out great. So I've always been like, if there were means to change this, what would it be? For us to give them like a platform where they can really achieve their dreams and all. So that has always been like something I wonder about. And I was like, you know what? I am going to change this for the people I'll meet later on in life so they can really bring their dreams to life, live their dream lives. So when starting Flove, I wasn't really sure if I loved business like that, because it's something that just came off vibes. I was like, okay, this is working. Let me work with it as well. But I was quite sure that if I'm going to make it a long-term project, I have to attach it with my passion. I remember I was reading this article in the pandemic 2020, and they were giving like statistics data of like teenage mothers in 2019, and those were about 19,578. That's really a huge number for just a year. Imagine having like teenagers less than 18 years, 19,500. That's a lot for a small country as ours. And when you read about these stories, you're like, okay, what happens to them after? Most of them are chased out of their homes. They forget about what they want to do with their lives now. They're solely concentrated on how to make a living for their babies. So I'm like, if I am to ever employ someone in Flove, they're going to be teenage mothers. I wasn't sure if they would be tailors or what, but I knew I wanted to do something. Yeah, I wanted to do something with them, and fortunately it happened. I'm happy I made that decision. It happened. Met a couple of mothers who weren't necessarily teenage mothers when studying, because they had grown. They're no longer considered teenagers, but who were affected by this circumstances. So that's really where my passion with working with women comes from. And so far, so good. I've seen a lot of changes. I feel like when a woman is empowered economically, she can do amazing stuff. She can get back to her feet and feed her children and actually be very faithful for the future. So, yeah.
I mean, with all the success you have had, I think at this point, the tote bag is every girl's favorite. Every Rwandan girl has the flab. Like, what does that mean to you? To see. I think when you came, maybe you see people walking the streets with your bags. I was telling you this story that at our workplace, like every girl I can name have these bags. So, what does even not even girls, boys are also buying these. What does that mean to you to have all this success and being the trendsetter? Because it's like everywhere. Girls, boys are buying these ones.
So the feeling is always grateful. Grateful is the word. At first, when I saw it after the pandemic, of course I knew people were buying. I knew the numbers. But somehow when I came to, like, we were always inside, people didn't have like places to go. So after the pandemic, I was like, is this really like, do all these people really have my bags? So it was kind of a shock moment, but the word is always grateful. I'm very happy about it. And I know this is only just the beginning. We're about to take off. Like, it's going to be all over the world. That's how I envision the brand. And yeah, I'm very happy about the success so far.
There's so many conversation in the fashion industry these days. We talk about sustainability, we talk about upcycling, we talk about, you know, making things that are going to impact our society in any kind of way. What are your thoughts on these subjects? What are your thoughts on these conversations? Sustainability. Are you have you, does your brand really started working on going in that way, or are you planning on that? What about upcycling? Because I was to this event I went like last Saturday. We were talking about upcycling, the way brands should really start thinking about that and also start creating space for upcycling. So, did people that bought from you like 3 years ago when you just started can bring back their bags and upcycle them? So, what are your thoughts on these conversations?
I think it's a very, very important conversation to have. Sustainability is the way. It's the way, really, because as Africans, we've really known a lot of fast fashion. We've seen how it really deteriorates like our environment. Um, I mean, people from back then, like us, I'm not that old, but I know like landfills filled with clothes and all like dirty places. We all know that, and now we see, yeah. Now you see, like you can compare that with the Kigali of now, so you can tell a difference. So really, I feel like that is a very important conversation to have. And when it comes to our brand, I feel like that's one of the important key things that we are actually trying to achieve with with our community. So starting from the product itself, a tote bag is known as a bag that you can like carry for everything, everywhere, with anything. So this is a bag. I feel like most people like it because this is something you can take at work and it looks presentable. You can take it out when chilling with friends and it still looks up to mode. You can go to school with it. If you're traveling, you can stuff a lot of things as you can in it. So it's really like something that can be used for everything. So you don't have to have like a lot of bags to like fit in all those events. So it's multi-purpose, which speaks to sustainability, avoiding fast fashion, just by one thing for everything. And when it comes to now upcycling or like recycling, what we are working on so far is like reducing wastes that go, especially with clothing. If you work with clothes and all, like there are a lot of waste that comes with that. So first of all, we've tried to partner with businesses like Bean Bags Kigali. They do bean bags where like they use it like the small big pillows that you sit on in offices and all, and they use our scraps like, or leftovers of clothes, and they stuff it in, yeah, and they stuff it in the bag, in the bin bags, and people are able to use a new product but that are really from our scraps. And one of the things we are also working on is like having a recycled shop, because we take some of the scraps and we make like small things like wallets and all. And we're really trying to push this, have this as many places as we can, because these are things not only like sustainable wise but also financial wise. It makes sense because this is money that you're throwing away. This is something that can be regenerated into something new. So really we are working towards that, but I can't also leave out that sustainability is a luxury. It comes with investment. When discussing sustainability, we also have to look at the materials that we use. Do you really? Yeah, very true. And you don't really know like the whole supply chain. You don't know the production process. We also have to go deep into knowing, okay, how sustainable is this fabric? And that is really a luxury. We barely have like processing factories here in Rwanda. So sustainability is key, is very important, but it's also a luxury for some. Yeah.
Now we just had this. You're one of your bestseller tote bags. You told me this one. I think every person have this one. What is the story behind this one? Why is it so famous? You know, like why do people really love this one?
This is our bestseller. It's called the Imundo collection. It's actually named after one of our clients, one of our really loyal clients back then. So the story of this bag comes from the previous collection. We called it the lightweight collection. It was a bag that is of course lightweight, padded and all. So I was with my friend Linda, and I asked her, so Linda, what do you think about this bag? And then she was like, oh, I love this bag. It's nice. I got it from my mother, but you know what? I can't really put this on. I was like, Linda, what do you mean? You're our client. Why can't you buy this one for your, why can't you carry it? And she was like, so I feel like for me, I'd like something that is that looks luxurious, but that is also affordable. So with that feedback, I went back home and really brainstormed, and I was like, what fabric would I use to make something look luxurious? I was like, of course, that's leather, and what can make it affordable? I was like, that has to be synthetic leather. So I was really intentional with designing this one. It has our signature look on it. The clips, yeah. Usually a lot of people, I don't know if they know, a tote bag is supposed to be something that is open. When it has like even the zips, it's really not how a tote bag is supposed to be designed, because something that you just need to like, you gotta access real quick and stuff in a lot of things. So it's like the clips is, they're not really like closed, but it's not also open. So we introduced this in the summer of 2021, and that's where Flav boosted. So I feel like it's a blessed collection.
As a young person in business and an entrepreneur, a fashion designer, there's so many people looking up to you. You know, there's so many people that wants to do something like you, or maybe kids that are out there, people that are watching that haven't found yet their passion. As someone who did, as someone who has really used it and made a life of yourself, like tell us what would be the advice for every young child that is out there watching us that really want to follow the business side of it or maybe the fashion side of it. So tell us what would be that one advice that you would, not even one, that you would give every young person that is trying to make something for himself or herself.
Say, what I recommend young people to do first of all is believe in themselves. I feel like the biggest barrier is you, or like what you tell yourself. We have to understand that everyone who has made it in life started from somewhere, and that it doesn't have to be big. Do not be afraid of starting small. You meet a lot of people who are like, okay, I can start a business because I don't have capital. And we have to believe in stories of people who really tell us. I started this whole, let's say, like a big shop with just a parcel of tomatoes, or like. I know that's really achievable. So far, I really believe that for people who know me, they know where I started from. I was a basic college student like everyone else. I haven't made it in like life and all, but at least I'm on that path as well. So it's really very key to understand that you have to start from somewhere and be bold enough to face some things. You're going to face challenges along the way. I feel like challenges are everywhere, in business, in the corporate sector, in everything. So be bold enough to know that you can withstand those challenges and also talk to people, learn from people. If you want to go somewhere, find people who can really guide you. I feel like young people always outlook the fact that we need people to guide us, because if you don't have a bigger picture of where you can be, or like where people that you aspire to be like are, you can't really, I feel like it's having like a vague vision. So it's always very important to have people who can guide you. So that's really it for me. Be bold enough. Do not be afraid of starting somewhere and small, and seek mentors and people to guide you.